Randy when it was South Park. Let's continue on before we get on with the rest of the show. We still have 2 more people to do.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part, is that I'm shocked that we didn't get to them. I thought we'd still have some more time. But let's talk about Martin Mull as Colonel Mustard. Now, I believe Tracy has the con, as they say. So, Tracy, who did you have playing Colonel Mustard?
So I needed a boisterous actor. I needed somebody who could rock a mustache greatly. I needed somebody who, one of my favorite lines in the film, "This is war, Peacock." So I went with Nick Offerman, again, another TV star.
Absolutely. It was the mustache, wasn't it? It's absolutely.
That's a lot of it, and the deep baritone voice.
Well, he's known for being a real man. He was in Hearts Beat Loud. He was in White Fang, The Founder. And then, of course, he had a small part in The Men Who Stare at Goats, but mostly TV. I love Nick Offerman. So, Randy, who did you have?
Well, I did not think that one as well through. It was more of like, yeah, this will be good. Because Mr. Green is older than Colonel Mustard in the movie. In just an age. I don't know. So I figured like they'd either just, because I'd never seen it, I was like, oh, maybe they just dressed up a younger guy to make him do more things. So I went with James Franco, because I wanted to see Seth Rogen and James Franco work together again.
I tried to find something that made him look a little older without him looking like a dumb dirtbag, but I couldn't. But yeah, James Franco, he can do it all. He can, he's in the Spider-Man movies and the Planet of the Apes movies. He's a director. He can act. He can paint. He does everything. Well, Nick Offerman versus James Franco. I went with Nathan Lane because I thought Nathan Lane could be boisterous and loud, because that's Colonel Mustard's this boisterous, bigger than life personality kind of tough guy. Of all the picks, this one was the weirdest one, Randy, because Nick Offerman, boom, you got to go with Nick.
Yeah, I figured.
But now we have what a lot of people think is Susan Sarandon, but it's Leslie Ann Warren, who's playing the lovely Miss Scarlet. We'll start with you, Randy. Who do you have as Miss Scarlet?
So again, I wanted someone who was sexy but could also act. So I went with Olivia Munn.
Yep, she's known for her shows on G4. She was in Iron Man 2, Magic Mike. She played Psylocke. Psylocke in X-Men Apocalypse, which was awful. Doesn't really act very much, but when she does, she's pretty solid.
Yeah. Like her seasons in the newsroom are actually really good. So
that is true. She's very good in that. Tracy.
So I needed the femme fatale. I needed kind of the noir character, somebody who would be absolutely stunning and could be seen as the mistress of a brothel, or the head of the brothel. I went with another TV star, Christine Hendricks from Mad Men.
She was 2010 Sexiest Woman in the World by Variety. She was in Mad Men, Drive, Pottersville, Bad Santa 2. The one thing about her is, and this is not her husband is just a goober like you and me. If you've ever seen her husband, you would think, oh, it's going to be a big, handsome guy. Nope, just like us. Not that he's ugly or anything. He's just like us. So anybody out there who's single, not the best looking guy in the world, Christina Hendricks types are out there for you if you just need to ask. Even Shirley
Shoot your shot, guys. Shoot your shot.
Ron was even saying that nobody ever asks her out. She doesn't date very much because no one asks her out. But, I'm already married. So, Randy, you got to take it, man.
I already went. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about your shot with Charlize Theron.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely going to happen.
Age appropriate, too. Olivia Munn, Christina Hendricks. I went with Elizabeth Olsen because I've been watching WandaVision, and that's really the only reason.
Yeah.
To stick with the original Clue, if you ever seen the original Clue game, Miss Scarlet was Asian, so we're going with Olivia Munn.
Okay.
Randy, you weren't completely.
Yay! 1 point. It was not a complete blowout, but yeah.
It was not. So let's talk about double features. Had this gone to, and it would have been impossible, but had this gone to a tie, we'll talk about double features. So Randy, you tell me the movie, then Tracy, you tell me the movie, and then I'll go back to Randy for an explanation of said movie. So Randy, what movie goes with Clue?
And then there were none.
Okay.
That's what I went with.
Tracy?
Murder by Death.
Randy, why? And then there'd be none, and then there was none.
I wanted a movie. Yeah, I just wanted an exact opposite of the same thing. A bunch of people in a house filled with murder. Where I've never seen Clue, so I was like, I assumed that eventually either they would all die or they'd all accuse each other. But in the other movie, they all die. So,
Tracy, Murder by Death.
It's kind of the precursor to Clue. It's just a classic murder mystery comedy, and I thought they'd go well together.
I'm just, I'm going to call it a tie because I've never seen either movie. I would assume that Randy's, it sounds like it's a little bit more heavy.
It is.
Clue is not. Clue's a farce. I was going to go with like Noises Off or something like that. But so before we leave, Tracy, what pick did you think you lost to Randy?
I thought for sure I lost Wadsworth. I went back and forth. A lot of people, and when I sent you accidentally my incomplete list,
that was, you had Robin Williams, I think.
I had Robin Williams, and at the last minute, I was like, just because at the end where everything is happening and Tim Curry just starts rattling off and he starts imitating people, I'm like, oh man, Robin Williams would kill that part. But then I was thinking, no, I gotta have somebody who's British. I gotta have somebody who's got kind of that accent, and he's got to be the proper English butler. So I went with David Tennant. I thought for sure I was going to miss that one.
And Randy, which one did you think was a slam dunk that you had?
That I had?
Yes, because we obviously there wasn't one that he should have.
Like the only one I was like, yeah, mine was Tom Hiddleston. I was so sure this was going to work. Like
that was a good one.
It was like, that was there. I don't know what, there was no one else in my mind. No, there was. At first, it was going to be, and I can't even say his name. Like
Benicio del Toro?
No, it was the guy who played Jefferson in Hamilton. That was my plan.
Daveed Diggs.
Yeah, Daveed Diggs.
Yes, he's also in Snowpiercer, the TV show, because we've been watching that lately.
And it's like, this will definitely. And the fact that I was like, I can't say the name, and if I can't say the name, I'm pretty sure anyone else who's going to hear it be like, I don't know who this is. And it's like, okay, well, that's not going to work.
If he's not a little kid on the CW, I know who he is. So Daveed Diggs, we know.
Just saying, sometimes you guys have names of people, and I'm like, I've never heard of them. And it's like,
I think Rachel McAdams was your best pick. I really like that one, and I was outvoted 2-1. I didn't
like it.
Anybody would have picked that one.
I have a question. Did the judges actually see the movie too?
Yes.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. I feel like this is one of those where it changes based on what you see. Because it's like, had I seen the movie, I probably would have picked someone else.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have.
Yeah.
Trailers nowadays are much different than trailers back in the 80s. So
obviously.
Let you go. Tracy, one more time. You're on Movies That Make Us. Randy, you are on the Cult 45 podcast. Obviously, as the art behind you shows, what's this art by White Cup?
Yeah, White Cup. Yeah, whitecupent.com.
Perfect. So I really appreciate it. You broke the winning streak, but Randy, you're still number one in our hearts. You were the first one to ever win the Cast Off Challenge, and that means a lot. So you're always going to have that champion banner no matter what.
Okay.
Right.
And Tracy, you are still in it and still have a chance, and we'll see what happens next week.
Okay, let's do The Office.
Office.